Well, Nigel there raised many issues that Catherine and I have spent the year talking about. But you will be able to get more of Catherine McGregor over the summer break, starting on December 21 and through to the new year. She'll be hosting in this time slot, 8 till 9 o'clock, a program called Inside the News. I might add, in other weeks, you'll hear Rita and Rowan and Corey in this time slot. But then Catherine will have her own show starting January 29 called The McGregor Angle, Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Let me say again, this is a multi-dimensional woman with proven talent across so many disciplines. She could fill a whole week with sporting stories. But for now, it's as plain as the nose on your face that Australians are angry that China have shared a fake image of an Australian digger threatening to slit the throat of an Afghan child. But, Catherine, this started with the Prime Minister referring to the Brereton Report, which he hadn't read, as containing brutal truths, and apologising to the President of Afghanistan and telling the world. Catherine, I don't know, I think we started this.
Well, Alan, I think there's an even more annoying issue, and it's one that's raising hackles in the veterans community. That particular reference to the throat slitting was actually in the so-called Cromverts report, which was simultaneously published alongside the redacted Brereton Report. Now, why Defence engaged in that remains a mystery to me, and it has upset many people in the Special Forces community, because this highly paid consultant was released to speak on 60 Minutes. I would have thought all the work that she had done should have been confidential at the very least, but she seemed to be part of the general spin cycle that was generated by the Chief of the Defence Force and others. So I'm not for one moment derogating the trouble the PM caused by jumping to a conclusion, but the credit I do give to Scott Morrison and to Linda Reynolds is that I think they showed a mistrust in the chain of command and on the run decided to make civilian oversight the issue, and they probably leapt into action without a full briefing, because I think they could see that the defence chain of command had conflicts of interest, and Ben Packham revealed a number of those in the Australian this week. There are interlocking networks of influence and mateship at the senior levels, whereas the people facing the show cause notices are corporals, sergeants and troopers. So I think the PM jolted into action to try to restore some kind of control. But that specific issue was alluded to in the Cromverts report, not the Brereton report. He attributed no weight to that particular case.
Well, I'll be editorialising on a range of questions later on in the program that the Prime Minister has to answer over this unread. He hasn't read the damn thing. I think we're entitled to be told, Catherine, whether the so-called evidence which formed the basis of the report was elicited under duress using interrogation techniques that would not be tolerated in any criminal court.
Well, this, again, all these matters remain moot in that we are waiting to see due process. And again, I'm prepared to give the pen the benefit of the doubt in that by leaping into action, what I think he tried to do, Alan, was avoid the humiliation of our people being dragged off to an international criminal tribunal at The Hague, the way Milosevic was. So he tried to institute an Australian process, but our rule of law does feature a presumption of innocence, and his choice of language on that day was poor, and there was overreach.
And so was Campbell. So were Burns.
Oh, well, even worse.
Worse.
Imposing collective punishment on posthumously awarded soldiers who had nothing, absolutely no reason to feel shame, imposing terrible grief on their family. The father of the young commando, Sher, who had been killed in that incident, said, "Come and take the MCU off me at your peril," and good on him for saying it.
Good on. Just before you go, you wrote a splendid piece back in 2017 on our involvement in Afghanistan. And you said, because I know a bit about this, because when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, way back, goodness me, in 1979, the Prime Minister Fraser and I was with him. We were called to the White House to decide what we should do. You wrote in 2017, if there was ever a time when an offensive in Afghanistan may have worked, that time has come and gone.
Absolutely. We achieved our mission initially to break up the al-Qaeda networks after the 9/11 attacks before the middle of 2002, Alan, and engaging in nation-building tasks in fundamentalist Islamic countries is a waste of blood and treasure, and we've wasted 20 years. It doesn't give me joy to say that, because good men with honour have gone and served this country and paid the supreme price. But the folly of thinking counterinsurgency, these people weren't for sale. The Russians found that out. They tried to secularise the place when the outbreak of violence against the Kamal regime, that was a puppet regime of the Soviets, occurred when they told girls to go to school in Herat without veils on, and that's what started the insurgency. So when I studied the Russian operations, I jumped off this counterinsurgency bandwagon in 2009, and Greg Sheridan will attest to that.
Good on you. Look, I wish we had about 2 hours to tell sporting stories, but we haven't. But I promise next year we will sort of incorporate a bit of that. You have been absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm telling a serious comment, and I don't care if I embarrass you. Out there, they love you. So good luck over Christmas. I know you've been a bit tired, a bit worn out. Good luck. And I will get a bit of someone to sing a few Christmas carols for you on Christmas Eve.
I'll hold you to that, mate. And by the way, both those programs that you alluded to in the introduction, I thank you for, because when no one else gave me a gig or believed in me, you picked me off the scrap heap, and that was you. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Catherine. Happy Christmas. We'll catch up soon.
And to you, mate.
There she is,
Bless.
Catherine McGregor.